Hello, this is Chad Johnson with Agent Evolution, the WordPress division of IDX Broker. In today's webinar, we're going to be talking about WordPress for real estate. More importantly, why WordPress? And then how does the IDX Broker plugin enhance the WordPress environment? And finally, how we can use the tools from IDX Broker to create a real-world example. Let's jump right on in. Now, you can see here on the screen that we're saying changing search to find, and it's really an ongoing theme that I like to think about when we're doing any kind of web design for real estate. Think about the word search and how search works in your life. When you're searching for something, it's usually a very stressful experience. You're searching for your keys, for your wallet, for your glasses. It's not something that you want to be doing. You want it to be over with. You want to find what you're searching for. But for some reason, when it comes to real estate websites, we all want to make sure that we have great search. When really we should be changing that and say we want to make it to where our clients can find what they're looking for as quickly as possible. It's just a very small change in how we perceive what we're going to present, but it makes a very big difference. We still will have the search capable. With IDX Broker, you have basic, advanced, map, ID searches, every kind of search you possibly could think about. And we're going to give those to people. There are folks that still want to do searching, but quite a few folks want to find. And how we're going to differentiate ourselves as a local agent or broker over other agents and brokers that are local, as well as Zillow's, Trulia's, and Realtor.com, is by using our knowledge and experience, our IDX Broker tools, combining those to create an environment where someone can find the property they're looking for within just a few clicks. So let's jump right on in. We'll start with just a quick primer. In the last 9-10 years, I must have said at least 1 million times why WordPress. But for the new folks here, why WordPress? Well, what is WordPress first? WordPress is a content management system. It is software that you use to manage your website. The old days where if I wanted a 20-page website, I would have 20 HTML pages coded out with my content in the middle of it. And if I wanted to make changes, I would need to contact the developer and wait and pay and get those updated. Those days are gone, or hopefully gone for everybody. Nowadays, we use content management systems, and WordPress is the #1 in the world. It's free software that powers over 23% of the world's websites. And what it allows business owners to do is to take ownership of the content on their website. They can go in and edit a page, add a page, change the navigation, things of that sort, without having to involve a developer. It really makes it to where you can be much more dynamic and change things as quickly as your business is changing. Now, why WordPress? There's just a couple of points here. First of all, ownership. With WordPress, you own your website. You want to change your host? Go for it. You want to change other vendors? No problem. When it comes to most real estate website systems, they're proprietary. You're essentially leasing or renting your website from that provider. If you remain happy with that provider, everything's great. The second that you want to leave, you're probably going to have to get a brand new website, which is not only a large cost, but it also means a big expenditure of your time. And that tends to be the most limited factor in a busy real estate professional's life. You can always make more money, you can't make more time. So ownership is a really big one. You're an entrepreneur, you want to be able to carry your website with you no matter where you go. Customizable and flexible. You're really not going to find a platform that allows you to do more than WordPress. It's open source. It's got thousands of themes, over 30,000 plugins available. You really are only limited by your ability or your ability to pay someone with ability to make the changes you want. If you want to change the way your website looks, pick up a theme, $50, install it, configure it. On a Sunday afternoon, you have a brand new looking website. Want to add new functionality, new features? Find a plugin. Plugin may be free, maybe 10, 20, 30 bucks. But it gives you so much capability. Cutting edge. Yeah, it's a really overused term, but it kind of fits here. Because WordPress is so popular, it's so flexible, a lot of times the earliest technology is actually implemented in WordPress. Case in point, mobile responsive. Mobile responsive is something that came out, it started catching on around 4 years ago. For those not familiar with mobile responsive, it's a way of coding a website so that it actually changes its layout based on the size of the screen. That makes it so that you have one website that is optimized for a desktop, a tablet, and a smartphone. And Google actually gives you extra credit points for being mobily optimized that way. WordPress was really the first platform to, across the board, adopt mobile responsive. There are still a lot of platforms that haven't caught on to that some 4 years later. By the way, IDX Broker was the first major IDX to be mobile responsive compatible and remains so to this day. Finally, industry-specific functionality. Again, WordPress is so popular, it's really the only platform you're going to see where vendors are building specific tools, usually through the form of WordPress plugins, for the platform. Case in point, what we're here to talk about today, IDX Broker. Now, the IDX Broker platform can be added to virtually any website, but WordPress is the only platform that they've actually built a specific tool for. And that's because it is so popular, the demand was so high, and the ability with WordPress was so good that people wanted it, and there was actually something they could do with WordPress, and so they built the IDX Broker plugin, and that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of our session today. So let's jump right on in and take a look at all the really cool tools and the benefits you get from using IDX Broker, its plugin with WordPress. First of all, seamless integration. This really doesn't seem like much until you get into it, until you've worked with something that doesn't integrate seamlessly versus something like IDX Broker and WordPress. Now, seamless integration means that all the tools come on over and work kind of natively with the rest of the built-in tools. And this happens with WordPress. It's different than if we go back to that example of a 20-page hand-coded HTML page. If you wanted to add any IDX to that, you'd be getting chunks of code and copying and pasting them on over, possibly having to style them because they don't catch the main theme style. It ends up being a lot of work. And you really don't have many tools right there at your fingertips while you're editing your page to also edit your MLS content. With WordPress, with IDX, you install the IDX Broker plugin, you activate it, and you've got a whole series of tools available to you. The first one is dynamic wrappers. IDX Broker has kind of a unique setup in how it presents its search and results pages, in that they happen on their server, not yours. And a lot of times when people first hear this, they think it's a bad thing. And I'd love to, to end that thinking right now. It's actually a beautiful thing that they do that because their servers run faster. The performance level is so much better than what you have your WordPress website on. That little $6, $10, $30 a month hosting account really is nowhere near as fast as what IDX Broker is serving their pages up on. Also, the alternatives would be framing. Well, framing does get a bad rap, and it actually deserves that bad rap. When something's framed, Google can't see it, so it's not indexed. The IDX Broker pages are indexed. One little side note, in your installation instructions from IDX Broker, they're going to talk about masking the URL, making it to where all those search pages are something on a subdomain of your domain, search.yourdomain.com or something like that. It's a simple procedure, especially if you have a developer working for you. Otherwise, it could be a little funky, but contacting your host or your domain registrar and following the instructions from IDX Broker. It only takes a few minutes, and it definitely then gives you the SEO benefit from your search results on your own domain. So, with the framing, like I said, it's not indexed. Everyone wants that Google juice. The second issue with that is frames are not mobile responsive compatible. They don't shrink and grow with the rest of the website. So if you have a framed in home search, it's actually going to break when someone pulls it up on a very small screen, maybe an iPad mini, smaller Google tablet, or any kind of a smartphone. So definitely we want to have non-framed environment. One thing we do want to make sure though is when people go to your search pages that they think they're still on your website. People freak out when they click on a link on your website and go to somewhere else, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, where am I at? Am I where I should be? This looks totally different. There is a dynamic wrapper system built into IDX Broker that actually makes it to where your search pages look identical to the rest of your site. Let's take a look at it. If I go to the back end of WordPress, I click into the IDX Broker settings, and voila, we have this little window here. And you'll see, create a dynamic wrapper page. You physically can go into your WordPress, create a page, and then identify it as being the wrapper. In this case, I created a page with no sidebar. I really like the idea of a distraction-free environment. When someone's doing a search, I don't want them distracted by the sidebar. When someone's looking at homes, I don't want them distracted by the sidebar. I want them focused towards getting to the point of, clicking to get, to see the home, save the search, which means they register, you get their contact information, or they register to get homes by email. So I like to put no sidebar with my dynamic wrapper. Now with Equity, the framework and child themes from Agent Evolution that are all optimized for IDX Broker, I actually don't need to do this. I can also, right within the system, I can create multiple wrappers and assign them on a page-by-page basis using the tools in WordPress I'm comfortable with. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to have different wrappers? Maybe I want to lead with a video and some text or photos on particular search results pages. That makes it very simple to do from within WordPress, and one thing that we really like about what we built into Equity. Now, if you don't have Equity, you're on a different WordPress theme, don't worry, you can go into the IDX Broker admin panel, known as middleware, and create dynamic wrappers yourself. It's just a little different there than working with the nice little WYSIWYG editor within WordPress. So when I look at it, voila, here is a page that technically is on the IDX Broker server, but it looks like the rest of my website. It's got the same header, footer, background, color scheme. Just no one, unless they looked up at the URL and saw that they were on a subdomain, would they even realize that they're on a completely different server. It's dynamic wrappers. It's one of those things where you kind of set it and forget it. You don't worry about it until you want to change it again. IDX widgets. Widgets are fun. Widgets are something you probably heard a lot about, but don't really know what they are. They're kind of building blocks. They're Legos, if you will, for WordPress. And a lot of WordPress themes make their homepage up of widget areas. They create these kind of empty boxes, organized in different ways, kind of like a floor plan of a home. And then you fill up those widget areas with widgets or furniture in that analogy of the home. IDX has got a handful of widgets that get automatically brought in to the WordPress admin. And you can add those to your home page, your sidebar, your header, your footer, wherever there's a widget area. There's also ways you can add them straight into the page content. And we're going to do that in our final segment of actually creating a real world example. Now, let's look here. This is a screenshot of part of my widgets page from within my WordPress admin panel. I just took a section of the ones that are IDX provided. Some of these are by default, the quick search widget, the new omnibar search where it's one field and you can put in a lot of different criteria. And we'll look at that in a second. Lead login, lead sign up. These are all by default. And then you'll see some there that I actually created myself from within my IDX Broker middleware, and they become available to me within my WordPress admin. Again, seamless integration. You'll see the IDX Crossroads feature. That's a widget that I created. We're going to actually use that one later when we make that real world example. But pretty cool stuff. This is just drag and drop. If you've ever worked with WordPress, this is right in there with all the other widgets. And you can add your own. That's just amazing. Click around, save a showcase widget, give it the criteria of homes in this area on this map. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, under $300,000. Voila, there's your widget. Really cool stuff. Once you start to do it, I think you'll end up creating a ton of those because they just make for such great content on your website. So it's compelling and converting content. Now, if I were to have grabbed the IDX Omnibar search widget and drug it into a homepage widget area, that's what it would look like. Right there. And this is brand new, a couple weeks old. It was introduced into the WordPress plugin for IDX Broker. It is very Zillow-esque. So many people have asked for this. One field, you type in a city, a postal code, an address, or a listing ID, hit search, and the results show up based on everything that's available on what was put into that one field. Very powerful stuff. I'm just starting to play with it. Can't really wait to see what we're able to do with it around the equity themes. Here we have it right on the homepage. Took this screenshot from our new curb appeal theme using the Omni search. Shortcode insertion. This one's going to get a little heavy, but don't worry. We're almost through all the tools, and we'll be looking into actually using them on a real page. Shortcodes. Once you've used them, they're super simple. Trying to explain them is super difficult. It is kind of like abbreviations. You put an abbreviation, a specific abbreviation, into brackets somewhere on your page, and that abbreviation means something to your theme or your plugin or something. And usually shortcodes are introduced when you add new themes or you change out to a different theme. Plugins or themes. The IDX Broker plugin has got a lot of their own shortcodes. Luckily, you don't have to memorize them all. You don't have to have a cheat sheet up or print one out. Believe me, back in the day, we used to have to do things like that. IDX Broker's plugin actually brought in a shortcode insertion tool. Now, this is what the top portion of a page editor looks like in WordPress. If you spend even 10 minutes in WordPress, this is probably quite familiar to you. When you install the IDX Broker plugin, you actually get this little button. It's the IDX Broker logo. Put your cursor on the page where you want an IDX element to go. You click that IDX button, and this little window pops up. In this window, you see Insert Shortcode. There's system links, saved links, and widgets. System links, these are your main pages, your basic search, your advanced search, your map search. I can click it right on in. All of a sudden, there'll be a link right on my page for someone to go to my map search, per se. Saved links are also known as saved searches or custom links. That's when you go in and create searches based on neighborhoods, home characteristics, and things like that. We're going to look into that in depth because I think that's one area that you can really differentiate yourself quite a bit on. Finally, widgets. All the widgets we looked at a couple screens back are available to be dropped in through shortcodes. If I were to click on one, click Insert, it would drop it right on in, and we'll look and see how that looks in the next section. Finally, for tools, we have the system pages and custom links. Seamless integration, that's what our section here is about. I go into the back end of my WordPress. I go into the IDX Broker settings area, and this is one of the windows I will see. I see all of my system links, my main system pages. I also see my custom links, otherwise called saved links or saved searches. I can click which ones I want brought in, save it, refresh, and voila. Those pages, those IDX pages, will be created as WordPress pages in ways that I can work with them the same way as I would work with any other WordPress page. So you'll see here the About Us, the client reviews, and the blog. Those are pages I created within WordPress. The advanced search and the basic search, those actually were brought in by the IDX Broker plugin. Again, seamless integration. I also have the ability to add them into my navigation. If I go to Appearance to Menus within my WordPress admin, I can actually add any of my IDX pages to my main navigation or any other menu. With WordPress, and if you take a look at our demos for our Agent Evolution themes, you'll see that we use quite a few menus on the home page and the footers to drive people to our IDX tools. We'll make it very quick and easy for them to see all the different options that they can have with using the IDX. Well, let's jump in. Let's take a look at a real world example. We're going to leverage and maximize IDX, keeping with our theme of remember, we want people to find, not to search. Searching is stressful. It's something you want to avoid. Finding makes you warm and fuzzy, and you want to spread that warm and fuzzy feeling around. So what we're going to do is we're going to create niche pages, or in this example, one niche page. I've been a very big supporter of niche content. That could be geographic pages or demographic pages. Geographic pages, we're going to build one today, a community page. That could be neighborhood, it could be a city, it could be a region. Demographic pages could be something speaking to a particular group of clients. First-time home buyers, seniors downsizing or right-sizing. It could be investors. There's so many of them. But you're either speaking to a group looking for a particular area or because they have something in common as first-time home buyers. What you then want to do is you want to add content, text, photos, video. That's going to entice the consumer, make them want to stay on the page, make them feel that you are an expert. It also, more unique content you have makes Google feel that you are an expert that they want to put into their search results. Works great for, say, buyers on a community page. Those buyers are going to look and see, wow, this agent knows this area. This agent's going to find me the perfect home for my family. If we're looking at sellers, sellers are looking for an agent that has experience in their area to know that they can market and price a home in their area for the most amount of money and sell it in the shortest amount of time. If they see that you have got a great section or page on their neighborhood, their community, it's going to instill some confidence that, hey, this agent knows a lot about this area. They're also driving and attracting buyers. So they may find someone interested in my home right on their own website. So it's always a great thing to write good content, and then also sprinkle in a lot of IDX content. Sprinkling in the IDX content is where you're going to separate yourself from Zillow. Zillow's got a whole lot of content, but they don't have any on-the-ground experience in your area. You're the one that knows what makes that community different, why someone would want to live there versus another community nearby. You're the one that knows what are the common home characteristics and the price ranges and things like that people are searching for. And we want to use the IDX to build that in. So let's take a look. I built a community page. It was so long, I actually had to break it up into 3 screenshots, the top, middle, and bottom. Let's look at it. Here's the top. I threw in a photo. I put in some text. Consumers can read a little bit about it. Google can index that. I'm talking about dining and shopping, parks and recreation, schools, why people would want to live in this neighborhood versus another neighborhood. They're going to look for that information somewhere. You might as well be the source. You may have to link out to somewhere else, school information, off to a different resource, but you were the one that showed them that resource. If I keep scrolling down the page, you hit the first IDX content that I put into this page. Right off the bat, I'm giving a quick, clean Omni search. I know I keep saying people want to find and not search, but if what we present to them isn't what they need, we want to make it really quick and easy for them to initiate a search. So I dropped in the Omni search. We'll show you how easy it is to drop that widget right onto that page here in a second. Below that, I add in what I think are some of the most important elements on a niche page, and that is the saved link. This is where you take your knowledge, your experience, and you create saved searches for that community. You're the one that knows what are the price ranges of the homes there. Is it 2 to 300,000, 3 to 4? I mean, is it more expensive? Is the cheapest thing $500,000? Or, is it, really, somewhere between 2 and 400,000? So you need to break up the prices into $50,000 increments or something like that. Use that knowledge. So here I've got by price, and then I've got by size. My examples are just by bedrooms, but you could also do by bathrooms. You could do by square footage. You could do it by lot size. Things that are important for the consumers. You'll know better than I will. You're the one that has got buyers. You're going to your MLS. You're doing these searches. Write them down. And I bet you will find a lot of common searches you're doing quite often for this community. You also may have by feature. And this is going to be also something that varies from area to area. I live near a lot of lakes. So boat and RV parking is very important. Do they have an in-law unit? Is there lake access? Is it on a cul-de-sac? Does it have golf course access? Gated community. There's so many different features that could be important to people, and you want to make it very quick and easy. What if I said, I've got a boat, I need boat parking, and I want to live in this community. I go to your website. I see right on the homepage, by the way, you might have noticed, I named this community 1. Very, very creative today. So I go to your website, right on the homepage, it says community 1. Wow, I'm interested in community 1. I click. There's one click. I scroll down and I go, oh, I need RV boat parking. I click on that link, voila. I now see every home within 2 clicks that meets my primary requirement. From there, within IDX Broker, I can refine the search. I can say, but I need at least 3 bedrooms, or I can't spend over $400,000. At that point, maybe there's something on the market. They click, they ask to see the home, or there's nothing on the market that they really interested in, but they click to save the search because they just whittled it down, got it exactly the way they wanted. You helped them get close. They made those final tweaks. They saved the search. Voila. IDX sends you your new lead. Or they say, hey, maybe something new will come on the market in the next couple of days. I'd like an email when something meets this criteria. Homes by email, another feature in IDX Broker. Voila. They register. You get the lead. You monitor those emails going out. Before you know it, they're asking you to see one of the homes that just comes on the market. Finally, if I scroll down even farther, I'm going to see the final component. This is the eye candy. People are searching for homes. They want to see homes. We're bringing in a showcase widget that I built in IDX Broker's middleware for this community. Now, what does a featured listing mean? That's going to be really up to you. Maybe in this community 1, you tend to sell homes that are 3 or more bedrooms, 2.5 or more baths, between 400 and 500,000. So you create that search in a widget, and then you say, okay, I want this to be 5 listings per row. I want it to be responsive. I don't want to show any more than 20 listings. That's what I did. Voila. Here we are. And then you go back into WordPress and you drop it right on in. We'll show you quite a bit of that here coming up. So let's delve on in. First, we need to add the Omni Search widget. You remember this? I just showed it to you a couple minutes ago. First, I go into my page editor. Here it is, edit page. I'm within my WordPress admin. Again, this is going to be an area that you'll become very, very familiar with once you get into WordPress if you're not already. I then put my cursor where I want that Omni Search to go. I click the IDX button. I go down, I find the IDX Omni Search, Omni Bar Search widget. I click Insert. And that's what it looks like. I had typed in Find Your Home. I made that a heading with WordPress, really easy. Highlight, drop down, heading 2. I typed in a little bit of text, and then this brackets with IDX-Omnibar. There's my shortcode. Like I said, it's an abbreviation that only my website, my plugin knows. It's in brackets. I know that it's a shortcode. All shortcodes in WordPress are within brackets. That, when I save it, go look at my website, it doesn't say IDX Omnibar. It shows the IDX Omnibar. Pretty simple so far, right? No one's getting hurt on the technology. All right. Let's look at the saved search links. This is going to take you a little bit more time because you are creating something that just doesn't exist. It's in your head. What are the search criteria that people are going to most likely search for in this community? You start in the IDX Broker middleware. You have to create these searches. Map them out. Think about them. I thought about when I created this little demo, okay, I'm going to do by price, by size, by feature. I'm going to do it as 3 columns. The columns, the presentation, that has to do with your theme. Here in Equity, we're able to create columns. So I created 3 columns and I did everything in bullet points. Bullet points are simple. You click the bullet point button and start typing. It's just like Word when you get into that area of WordPress. But I need to create those links first. So I go into my IDX Broker account, into what they call their middleware. I click on Preferences, I click on Saved Links, and then I create or manage those links. I'm not going to get into this today. That's a pretty big subject. I'm pretty sure that we have got videos, past webinars recorded, as well as a lot of great knowledge-based information on idxbroker.com on how to create and manage saved links. Please, please, please make that a priority. Don't pay for an IDX and then just slap a search on it and expect it to be different than anyone else. The power in IDX Broker is the ability for you to do kind of a matrix kind of data dump into your website, into your IDX, so that your knowledge and experience differentiates you from all the other competition on the web, both from those national portals as well as from other local agents and brokers. So you create those links. You go back to your page in WordPress, in the WordPress editor. I put my cursor again where I want that link to go. I click Saved Links. I put my cursor where I want it to go. I click on the IDX link to get this insert shortcode window to open up. We've talked about this a couple times before. Doing it once, you'll figure it out. Then you go to the tab of Saved Links. Right now I only have 1 saved link in here. It's just a demo account. I didn't create a ton of stuff, but you're going to end up having hopefully dozens of different saved links over time. You have 2 links there. For each of the saved links, you have the insert and the change title. The change title will change what it looks like to the consumer. So you want it to be something that is consumer friendly. enticing to click on, not too cryptic, and maybe even something that's good for Google. When I did it, I switched it over to 200 to 300,000 because I wanted everything to just be a nice clean list of price ranges. I click change title, I change it out, I click insert. Once I clicked insert, voila, right where my cursor was, which was right next to that bullet point, it added in my shortcode. As you can tell, this shortcode is a little bit longer. It's calling up my saved link in my account at IDX Broker and saying what I had set the title to. Again, we save it, we look at the screen, you look at the website, refresh the website and look at it, and you'll see it actually just says $200,000 to $300,000 as an active link. Property Showcase. This is the eye candy. This is the one with all the thumbnails. Really the one I think that has the biggest wow factor when people go to a website. Especially if you're doing this for a very small neighborhood that maybe not have more than 10 or 15 listings available at any one time or less, you could actually have the entire inventory in that community on your page at all times. Because remember, these are saved searches. Every time that it updates from your MLS, your site's going to automatically update as well. So you actually have new, fresh content. We set it and forget it, and this will automatically be updating, once or multiple times a day. Now, with the eye candy, this is just like the saved searches, the saved links, where we're going to go first over to the middleware of IDX Broker, and we're going to create this widget. This is what's called a showcase widget. We go into the IDX middleware, we click on designs, we go to widgets, and we click manage or create. I clicked create. I said I wanted it to be a showcase widget. I set the criteria, the area, the price range, the home characteristics, whatever you're determining to be a featured listing. And again, if it's a big area, you may have to trim that down. If it's a very small area with only a few listings, it may just be show all actives in this area. It'll ask you, do you want to make it responsive or not? If your theme is responsive, please set it to be responsive. It'll actually grow and shrink with the rest of the website. Part of the beauty of IDX Broker. You need to determine how many you want to cross on a row. I chose 5. You could do less. I tried 3 originally. I thought the photos were a little large with 20, and I said 20 listings. A little trick. You'll notice in my example I did 5 across and a total of 20 listings. 5 is divisible into 20. If you do 3 and 20, you're going to have one row that is missing 1 or 2. So always make sure that the number across, is something times that to the total number. Basically, or it was a very awkward way of saying the total number should be divisible by the number per row. That was, again, one of those things that's harder to explain than to actually do. So once you have that created, your widget created, and you refresh your WordPress, it's going to be available in your widgets, both in your widget area to use on the home page, footer, sidebar. It's also going to be here in the insert shortcode window that we've been looking at. So I would create the widget. You have to make sure that anytime you create that content, there is a refresh button within the IDX Broker widget. It pulls in any new content from IDX Broker. You do that every once in a while when you create new content. You don't have to do it unless you've created new content in the IDX middleware. It then puts that in the list. Mine is called Crossroads Featured. I had put my cursor where I wanted that Crossroads Featured to go. I clicked on the IDX button at the top of the editor. This window opened up. I find it and I click the insert next to Crossroads Featured. And that's what it looks like. The featured listings I created myself. I typed it in, I highlighted it, made that a heading. But the shortcode there in the brackets was actually created when I clicked insert. There we are. Gone over a lot today. I wanted to show you the wealth of tools I also wanted to show you some realistic examples, some real life examples on how you could just take, watch this recording, watch it a couple of times. And even if you just did what I did on community pages, your website's going to become much more valuable to the consumer and much more valuable to you, because we're driving more and more people to your IDX where they have conversion tools built in. Excellent. Well, this has been Chad Johnson with Agent Evolution. We are at agentevolution.com, on Twitter at Agent Evolution. I'm here on behalf of our parent company, IDX Broker, idxbroker.com, on Twitter at IDXBroker. If you have any questions, love to hear them. Ping us online through our website, social media, however. Thank you very much and have a great day.